Hello everyone, this is Sheba Joy. Welcome to my channel Zion Shekinah Official. Zion means God's dwelling place and Shekinah is God's glory. Excuse me. Today we're going to see Proverbs chapter 31 and it has verses 1 to 31. And this is the last chapter in Proverbs, and I'm so thankful to God that I'm able to finish and accomplish what I committed, because I did want to finish this in the month of November, as I've been saying in some of my other videos and all that, but due to the attack and pain, of pain, severe pains and all that, we were not even able to walk properly. So that was that, and because of that, I've never taken so many medicines in my entire life that I took in this 1 month. So, but God is faithful. God is good. God is, uh, He restores everything, and He doesn't let His children suffer. And I've learned that all through all these many years, and it's the biggest testimony. My life itself is the biggest testimony to what God has been doing and is doing and I will continue to do. So I'm really excited, and it's now 10:40 in the night on 31st November. We're going to enter into 24. And it's amazing of how God can do what He can do alone. He can do, because it was on my heart. And in December I wanted to do a lot of talking and pondering and about Christmas, and I was only able to give one message on Christmas. But I but he knows that I've not been reluctant or wasted time, and I didn't do any of that sort. My heart was very heavy though, because I couldn't complete all that I wanted to, but I'm so thankful to God that I'm able to do that now. And I finished it, even though it was literally 30 days late, but I still made it, because I really wanted to finish Proverbs. It's the wisdom of God that I really wanted to ponder and also talk about it in my messages, because it's very, very important that, people, it says, people lack for the, people suffer. People perish for the lack of wisdom, for the lack of knowledge. So that was on my heart, and the Holy Spirit wanted me to talk about that. And it was, and also for myself too. It's not that I'm all wisdom and all this knowing and all that. No, I too have done mistakes. I too have was very confused with my being single and all that, at many times of what to do, how to do, and where to go, what I should do and not do, and things like that. So, but God, in His all glory, in His all wisdom, He spoke to me through the book of Proverbs, and it is such a beautiful book. I feel that because I've attained some wisdom from this book of Proverbs, I'm not going to be perished. I'm going to walk in the fullness of God, in the wisdom of God, in the likeness of God, in the obedience of God. Because, Proverbs is such a beautiful it has 31 chapters, and all of them speak so much of wisdom, that it actually has opened my eyes and my heart and my mind to many, many, many things. And I'm sure it has done for you all too. So let's see Proverbs chapter 1:31. And thank you all so much for patiently listening. And even though it was not a video, it was just an audio, thank you all for listening. Let's dive into Proverbs chapter 31. The sayings of King Lemuel. An inspired utterance his mother taught him. Listen, my son, listen, son of my womb. Listen, my son, the answer to my prayers. Do not spend your strength on women, your vigor on those who ruin kings. It is not for kings, Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for rulers to crave beer, lest they drink and forget what has been decreed, and deprive all the oppressed of their rights. Let beer be for those who are perishing, wine for those who are in anguish. Let them drink and forget their poverty and remember their misery no more. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy. A wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm. All the days of her life, she selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her task. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out of night. In her hand, she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arm to the poor and extends her hand to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear of her household. For all them that are clothed in scarlet, she makes covering for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected as a city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh as the days to come. She speaks wisdom and faithfulness, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. It's very interesting because the whole chapter is almost about the woman, and I'm not sure why. Maybe we have to dig into the history of why the 31st chapter, which is the ending chapter of Proverbs, is only about the woman. Because I think, to my understanding now, in my heart, I'm feeling that a woman is like the backbone of the family, right? So Proverbs is talking about here King Lemuel is talking about this whole chapter because his mother taught him, it says in this chapter. So he says that he's talking about women because, a wife, a wise woman. Why? Because if she is wise, if she has the wisdom of God, if she runs with wisdom, if she knows about wisdom, if she functions in the way of wisdom, then everything will go smooth, with the family, because she is the backbone of the family. The woman is always the backbone of the family. She may not appear in some cases in the front. She might not be as open as she should be, could be, but she is the backbone, of her family, of her husband, of her children, of her household, and everything. And if she is wise, then that family is like a vehicle. It will run smooth, it will run beautifully, and it will be praised. But if that woman who is foolish, who's wicked, who has nothing else to do but gossip and lies and do crimes and all that, then that woman will be judged by God, of course, but that kind of woman will also bring down the family to ruins, will bring her family to that kind of ruin and destruction. So I think King Lemuel is totally intrigued by the woman, by, I think, her he's saying about a wife, probably his wife, not sure. So he's saying, some of the verses I just want to highlight and not one, because it's a lot of thing. And he's also talking about drunkards, in the first 4 and 5 in 6 verses, and 7 is saying, do not drink, because drinking wine or beer, maybe a common thing with the kings, but it's not for kings to drink. Why? Because if they drink, what will they do? They will not go and do their duty, which means they're putting their family, their city, their country at stake, because anytime the enemies can come and invade. So he's talking about not about intoxication here. And the whole of you know and then again, 9 8 verse, it says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly, defend the rights of the poor and needy. He's also saying that it's very important to speak up for the speak up for themselves, right? See, if we don't speak up for ourselves, what will the liars and gossipers and the wicked people do? They'll put their crimes on us. They'll say that, she has done that, he has done that, and all that. So he's talking about to speak up. Sometimes people don't have they fear to do that. Sometimes even I did, fear to do that, but eventually the Lord spoke to me and said, you must speak up, because when the wicked know what they're doing and still trying to do all sorts of things, it's important for you to speak up, so that the right, because see, when we are right in the Lord, when God knows that we are right, he's going to support us, he's going to give us the victory. But for us, what we need to do is not have fear, but speak up and say the right things, in the obedience of God, under the subjection of God, and do the right things that God has wanted us to do always. So he's talking about the one, and then those who can't speak, he's saying, defend for them, defend the poor, defend the needy when they're right, and then don't withhold your justice from them. And the whole of on chapter 31, Proverbs chapter 31, from verses 10 to 31, it's all about a woman, it's all about a wife. So it is really nice, very good actually. Proverbs chapter 31, 31 chapters are there in Proverbs, and it has been concluded with a good wife, with a noble wife. And I'm going to read few, because all of them are like real pearls, all of them are like real rubies and diamonds, and all of them, it has to be pondered by every woman. It's not just enough, to function in few ways and be foolish in other ways and all that, but it's also very important for a woman to be very wise, because when she is a wife, she's actually driving the wheel of her house, and it should not have any accidents, right? So for that kind of wife, a wife should be very, very very what do you call wise and full of wisdom. And when can that happen? Only when she is in the will of God, only when she is obedient to God's ways and obedient to his plan and purpose for her and her family. So I'm going to read only a few, but I think every woman should read this. Proverbs 31:10, a wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. So, why? Because she's of a noble character. What does she do? She is far more than rubies. Her price is worthless. Her price is... she cannot be put a price on her. No price can be put on her. Why? Because here King Lemuel is talking about, she's far more precious than rubies. No one can find, who can buy rubies and all that? Only very, very, very rich people can buy, right, in those days. But he's saying that of all the rubies, you can put, even she's worth more than all the rubies in the world. That means she's priceless. And also he's talking about her husband has full confidence in her. Why? Because he knows that she's going to do nothing wrong but do everything right, and lacks nothing of value. Why value? Because she's not going to go bad. She's not going to be a bad woman. She's going to have value to her. Any man comes to her with some kind of nonsense, she knows how to give them back, and she knows how to stand her grounds, and she knows how to maintain her character. So she's of value, he says. And And also, what will she do? She'll bring good for him and the family, and not harm, all the days of her life. And then the rest of the verses are like, from 11 to um 24. They're all about how she works, how hardworking she is, what kind of things she puts forward, and what kind of woman she would be, to work and to see that her household is good, that her husband and children are good, then she is, and also to see that they're all growing in the Lord, in the obedience of God. And also she instructs, she gives them wisdom, she knows how to walk in wisdom. Also, puts her love, her effort, her grace, her smile, her happiness, everything into the family, to say that she is the woman that is needed there, and she's the woman as a wife. She's a wife, she's a mother, so she's a godly woman that God made her in the Garden of Eden. So she puts all that. Even though in the Garden of Eden, Eve has disobeyed, but when she was, her generations going forward, when Christ came on this earth, when Jesus came on this earth, he shed his blood for everyone. So what did he do? When he shed his blood, he also gave redemption to the woman too. He gave his wisdom, he gave his love and grace, extended that to the woman. So that woman, when she is a wife, becomes honorable, becomes good, becomes worthy, becomes of a noble character. And also, and that can only happen if she takes a stand in the Lord. That can only happen if she is obedient in God. That can only happen if she is she obeys God, she loves God, and she does all that he wants her to do. So this is for the godly women. A godly woman is is all this. And verse 28, he says, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh the days to come as she speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. See, she doesn't talk waywardly. She doesn't gossip. She doesn't do characterless things with other people. She is clothed with dignity and strength. She's very mindful. That means there's dignity in her. When you see a godly woman, a godly wife like that, she's clothed with dignity, she's clothed with strength, and also she laughs at the days to come. She doesn't like fear. There is nothing about her to fear anything in the future. All that she sees is for days, in the days to come. She only gives a laugh. Why? Because she knows that her God is her creator, that he created her, and her strength is from God. So when her strength is from God, there's nothing that can shake her. And 28, her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. See, when children see such kind of women, such kind of mothers in the house, what do they feel? They feel very blessed, they feel very happy, they feel that she's a blessing to them. And of course they're a blessing. They're also going to see and follow her example. And her husband also praises her for what she is. Why? And in Proverbs 31:30, it says, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. True, right? But a woman who, he concludes this, and it's so important, a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. See, it is so important. Charm is deceptive. People, when they're growing old, they lose their charm. They lose their beauty. They lose and all that stuff. Or even if a woman is young and she's not beautiful, she's not charming, she's not. All that is deceptive. The proverb King Lemuel is talking about. Why? Because beauty and charm are like they don't stay there forever. Even if they were there on the woman, they won't stay there forever. And the other thing is, even if they're not there, she should not be compared to just beauty, because that is deceptive. Because a woman who's beautiful can also be very notorious or characterless woman, but a woman who's not beautiful can also be very notorious and characterless. So it is not based on a woman who is beautiful that her character will be good, or not beautiful and her character will be good. It's not like that. or her character will be bad, something like that. It's not like that. A woman who fears the God, he says very beautifully in the concluding thing, but a woman who fears, it's chapter 31:30. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Why? Because she fears the Lord. When a woman fears the Lord, folks, friends, what happens? God's grace is seen in her life. God's obedience is seen in her life. God's mercy is seen in her life, and above all, God's love is seen in her life. So, no matter who may gossip about her or be jealous about her and say wrong things and do many things or go against her, do whatever it may be, at the end of the day, at the end of every time, she said, God says through King Lemuel that she will be honored at the city gate. Finally, she will be honored. Because why? She has honored God in her life. So that is what God is talking about. And I want to conclude this, and I'm so thankful to God that I'm able to finish this. It's now 11 November 31st, 2023. And thank you all so much. Best wishes for the new year. And may the Lord bless this word. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.